So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to talk about this famous, not to say notorious, DIAS. Okay, everybody is talking about that. Nobody knows what we're talking about, but we'll try to give you some hints on that this afternoon, based on the DIAS where MERCATOR is involved in. That is called WEkEO. Okay, so WEkEO is an initiative of MERCATOR in joined with EUMETSAT and ECMWF. And I'm going to explain you what is WEkEO, what is really the WEkEO offer, what the, let's say, how WEkEO is implemented, and after that a set of examples of what can be used, let's say, for the CMEMS or marine community based on WEkEO. So WEkEO, in fact, is a DIAS. So DIAS means Data and Information Access Services. So first of all, you have to stress the point that, let's say, the word access. Access is not just download. It's to give an access to the data, to have the possibility to use it where it is. Okay, so the idea is this famous, let's say, paradigm of processing the data where it is, so to be processing close to the data. You are not supposed with a DIAS to download the data, but to have a possibility to process the data where it is based. Okay, so this is very important. It's, first of all, in terms of data, a unified access of all the Copernicus data and services, meaning that you can get access to all the Sentinel satellite data and to all the Copernicus services, so including CMEMS, but also the land, the atmosphere, the CAMS. For the time being, nothing is planned, let's say, for the emergency and defense Copernicus, okay? Because they are under a different rule of access. But so, in a place like a DIAS, you can get this access to the data. So with a single login, single access, you get access to all of them. You have also some, normally a virtual environment to use some tools, so predefined one, or some things that you can set up yourself, so in order to do your own processing. So what is very important also for us is to add to that, let's say, a user support. The idea of having, let's say, MERCATOR involved in the DIAS was to keep this very close relationship with our users. We want to maintain, let's say, the complete loop from the data production to the end user. And let's say a DIAS in between would have been a problem because we could be losing this link. So to have this access, especially in terms of user support, is of major importance for us. And we want to maintain the quality of our support for the people using our data through this DIAS. Okay? Let's go to describe the different roles of the partner. So you know us for the Marine Monitoring Service, you know ECMWF and EUMETSAT for the activity in satellite, atmosphere and climate. But in the implementation of WEkEO, we're having different roles. So MERCATOR is in charge of the user development and management, so including the user support, all the marketing activities. So what I'm doing today in front of you is part of it. ECMWF will be in charge of developing some tools. So for the time being, they are, let's say, kind of low-level tool, meaning that they are already the part of tool needed for the access to the data. But in the future, we expect to have, let's say, new set of tools in order to better use the data we are providing inside the DIAS. And let's say, not on top, but on the bottom of that, you have the infrastructure that is provided by EUMETSAT. Okay, so EUMETSAT is in charge of setting up all the computers and network and everything in order to have all that working. What is different between, let's say, WEkEO and the other DIAS, or DIASes, I don't know, DIAS, is that WEkEO is not duplicating the data. No. So normally in most of the other DIAS, you have one single big cloud, and everybody is copying the data inside this cloud, okay? And for us, we come from a different approach that is a federated approach. We want to connect all the existing data center coming from CMEMS, from EUMETSAT, coming from ECMWF, and we need also to have access to the other Sentinel missing and land service in this platform. So we don't want to duplicate the data. this has several advantages I will describe later on. This also is an open approach. This means that we are ready to give access to other sources of information that are not currently in our, let's say, statement of work, and we'll be ready to open this data access to other sources of data. Okay? So, what's the WEkEO offer? Sorry. First of all, being, let's say, a Copernicus service, we need to provide a free and open data access. So this is under the essential offer. So the essential offer enables you to be, let's say, browsing your data and, if needed, to download them. So this is not, as I mentioned before, the main idea of the DIAS. Normally, DIAS is much more to do the processing on the platform, but we also offering that. So with a single login, you can access every data set of the Copernicus and Sentinel data. Okay. Afterward, for this essential offer, you have the standard support that is currently offered by all the services. So we have having, let's say, a single focal point. You can address your request on this focal point, and afterward, at the end, let's say, of the chain, you get access, for instance, to the MERCATOR expert in marine that will answer you to your question linked to our product. So this is really an helping system, let's say, by this single access point, and keeping the same quality of answer coming from the people really owning the data. Afterward, what is really specific of the DIAS is the advanced offer. So advanced offer is providing you this virtual environment and tool to process your own data on the platform. So you can imagine that this has a cost, and we cannot provide that for free. We have some training periods on that, so training, let's say, or trial periods. You can do that for the time being of 3 months on our platform. But afterward, in order to not to compete with the existing, let's say, services that are selling those virtual environments, you're going under a pricing scheme. So we have a pricing list. You want to hire your VM on our platform. This is available, and you can do that. And what is a bit new with WEkEO is this federated offer. So in case you're an owner of a data set of interest for a community and you want to share it with other, let's say, user, you can ask to be federated with our system. Okay, so for sure this is interesting for a data set with a certain amount of data, not a few kilobytes of data, but you can enter in this process of being federated with us. So that was what I was describing. In this process federation, something very important, we cannot distribute any data like that. So we need to have a labeled data. This means that this data will be provided under, let's say, the flag and the services of WEkEO. So you need to have a certain level of quality to be accepted. And also you need to be able to provide some support for the user wanting to use your data. Okay? So it's a kind of win-win system. We are increasing the WEkEO data set, and you are increasing your let's say, your opportunity to distribute and have your data used. Sorry. So regarding the WEkEO strengths, so you know the partners, I'm not going to describe that. So what is very, very important is that this harmonized data access from a single point, being also some API you can integrate in your development, you can get access to the full set of satellite data and services. What is important is that, so we are not duplicating this data, we are going where they are, so there is no long process of copying the data from one point to the other. And this is very important, especially for the near real-time data, because you know that on WEkEO, you get access to the data when it starts to be available on the original platform. There is no time for copying the data, so this is very important. Let's say, so this is not true for all the data set. We still have some concern on that with the Sentinel 1 and 2 data. Let's say the near real-time access is not granted for the time being. So we are open to new federation, and what is very important, and I think this will be in the future something that on which we'll need the help of the community, we will give, let's say, when you will be hiring some virtual machine on our platform, some access to several tools to better use those data. So in this place, everyone is, let's say, welcome to provide some interesting tool to help in the development of the use of the data and for specific application. So, and finally, we still want to, as I said at the beginning, to maintain this relationship with the user, with our user feedback. Okay, so implementation. We have been since the beginning of the WEkEO, and we are still running in the, let's say, the pilot version of our platform. We call it V0. And this was done because we're doing a large process of procurement in order to have an answer from the industry to provide the infrastructure and software to run our platform. So let's say the two main tender have been closed, and we have awarded all the parts linked to the infrastructure to Cloudflare with, let's say, the management of Thales, and the parts linked to the tools was given to GMV. Okay, we have closed the one on web portal, and that will be, let's say, awarded quite soon. So it's important because we are really using the best skilled partner in the industry in order to develop this DIAS. And let's say, so based on this procurement approach, the official launch of, let's say, the commercial part of our DIAS will be in October of this year, so the V1 with the full possibility to access the data and to have as many users as you want for free or under payment. So let's start to see some nice images. I'm going to show you some, so let's go quickly, some example of what can be done with half a minute. Oh, they are nice images, sorry. So quickly, this is what can be done with the federated offer. So this is a tool that is developed by Ocean Data Lab in order to give access to all the data I mentioned before. So I'm going to show you the images is better. So for instance, for CMEMS, you can get access to the salinity. So this is a full image. But on the same platform, you get access also to the temperature, to the velocity, okay? And what is interesting is in the same menu there on the left, you get also access, for instance, to ERA 5 data. Okay, from, so I go quickly. So this is the cloud coverage, you can see it. This is the precipitation, so the wind. Now from Sentinel-3, you have the STRAL information. I go quickly. And you can merge those things, okay? So with the same viewers, you can see all what is available there. So you can, this is the global view. Of course, you can do more. You can do some zoom and things like that. So in addition to that, you have the access to the Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-2 data. So I'm going to show you here first the Sentinel-1. So you define some area of interest, and you can browse the catalog to see what is available there. Okay, so this is, again, on the same platform. So you have everything, Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, Sentinel-3, CMEMS, CAMS, and everything. Okay? Yes. Just the last one. Sentinel-2. And now to finish something, so you have here, let's say, the velocity, the salinity, Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, with the big advantage of the high-resolution images, so you can zoom on them. And you can get something up to down to this scale. So this is opening for sure the door to new application and coastal activities and things like that. I'm sorry, I have many things to tell because it's not just one service, it's many of them. And that's all. So if you want to apply to that, you are still in, let's say, onboarding some pilots for free until October of this year. So 50 more of them are still needed. So if you're interested in becoming a pilot user of WEkEO, you're welcome. Thanks a lot. Sorry.
Thank you.